Pleasant day everyone. Today we are going to discuss or tackle about the primary sources of this case study. So I was tasked to discuss or tackle about the primary sources. And one of those is Guillermo Masangkay. So before we dig in or dig deeper into the main topic, let's first study the biography of Guillermo Masangkay. So Guillermo Masangkay was born on June 25, 1867 in Tondo, Manila. He was the youngest child out of the four of Domingo Masangkay and Victoria Rafael. And then, Guillermo Masangkay has no formal education. However, he has this high intelligence. Meron siyang mataas na intelektual at may malalim na kaalaman patungkol sa lipunan at sa politikal. Lalong-lalo na sa pamamaraan o pamamalakad ng mga Espanyol. And also, he is fluent in the Spanish language, which is one of the reasons why Andres Bonifacio made him as one of his advisor. And then this young boy met Andres Bonifacio, and later on they both realized that they have the same common interest of overthrowing the Spanish government and have achieved a total independence from the Spanish government. So when Andres Bonifacio established the organization or the Katipunan on July 7, 1892, along with Ladislao Diwa and Teodoro Plata, Guillermo Masangkay also joined at the age of 17. Masangkay became one of the first members of the Katipunan, including Restituto Javier, Vicente Molina, Valentin Diaz, Bricio Pantas, Roman Basa, and the others. And as Bonifacio's advisors, Bonifacio consulted him about making the organization from secret organization into a revolutionary government. Dahil dati yung Katipunan ay isang palihim lamang na isang organisasyon kung saan doon nila pinag-uusapan o pinagdedebatehan kung ano-ano yung mga dapat o kailangang gawin ng mga Pilipino upang makalaya sa mga Espanyol. However, these are just conspiracy against the Spaniards. However, wala silang they don't have that adequate enough of resources to go against the Spanish. So, Bonifacio consulted Masangkay if it is the right time to make the organization into a revolutionary government. And then, Guillermo Masangkay was one of the few members of the Katipunan whom Bonifacio appointed to organize the Katipuneros in Cavite. And then on April 1896, Masangkay, Bonifacio, along with other members of the Katipunan, gathered on the mountain of Pamitina, where they planned to initiate an attack to city or to the lungsod of Manila. However, yung planong yun na mag-initiate ng attack papunta sa lungsod ng Manila ay hindi natuloy dahil sa layo ng pinanggalingan or sa layo ng lungsod mula sa kinaroroonan nila. Kaya they abandoned the plan to initiate an attack to the city. However, on the August 1896, when the organization was discovered by the Spaniards, Masangkay, Bonifacio, along with other members, held a meeting on 24th of August 1896 in Caloocan. However, nung nadiskubre na ng mga Espanyol ang palihim na organization na to, doon na gumawa sila ng isang pagpupulong upang gawin na isang revolutionary government ang Katipunan organization. So now, let's go to the main topic of the case study. Primary source accounts of the crime. So, yung source na to, yung passage nito or yung source na to ay galing sa account ni Guillermo Masangkay. He was considered as a primary source because he was there, present at the time of revolution, along with Theodore Agoncillo, who was also a revolutionary historian. And then So let's start. On August 26, a big meeting was held in Balintawak at the house of Apolonio Samson. So Apolonio Samson is considered as one of the members of the Katipunan. Then cabeza of that barrio of Caloocan. Among those who attended, I remember, were Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Aguedo del Rosario, Thomas Remigio, Vicio Pantas, Teodoro Plata, Pio Valenzuela, Enrico Pacheco, and Francisco Carrion. They were all leaders of the organization and the board of directors of the organization, as Guillermo stated. Delegates from Bulacan, Cabanatuan, Cavite, and Morong were also present in the said meeting. At about 9 o'clock in the morning of August 26, the meeting was opened, with Andres Bonifacio presiding and Emilio Jacinto acting as secretary. Teodoro Plata, Vicio Pantas, and Pio Valenzuela were all opposed to starting the revolution, because the meeting was opened with Andres Bonifacio opening up the topic about uprising a revolution. And according to Guillermo, the meeting, or the purpose of the meeting, was to create an uprising or a revolution against the Spaniards, just like what this passage states. The purpose was to discuss when the uprising was to take place. So they were discussing about the time of the revolution is to take place. Teodoro Plata, Vicio Pantas, and Pio Valenzuela were all opposed to starting the revolution too early. So these courageous men were all opposed to the idea of starting the revolution too early, because they argue that if they were to start the revolution too early, the Spaniards are just going to capture them, and also in terms of the resources, they are not prepared in terms of the arms. They fight. The Filipinos back then fight with their bolos, or the knives. Unlike the Spaniards, they have these guns. So frankly speaking, the Spaniards have the upper hand in terms of combat. However, it is not about the weapons. However, it is about the spirit of the Filipinos, that they were ready to sacrifice their lives just to achieve the total independence of the country. So let's continue. Andres Bonifacio, sensing that he would lose in the discussion, then left the session. So when Andres Bonifacio sensed na hindi siya mananalo sa debate or sa discussion na yun, lumabas siya sa session hall at pumunta sa mga tao who are waiting to the result of the meeting of the leaders of the organization or of the Katipunan. At kanyang sinabi sa mga tao na he told the people that the leaders were arguing against starting the revolution early and appealed to them in a fiery speech. Sinabi ni Andres Bonifacio sa mga tao na ang mga leader o yung mga kanyang kasapi sa organisasyon ay nagdedebatehan kung sa kailan nila igaganap ang revolusyon. At sinabi niya sa kanyang salita, sabi ni Andres Bonifacio, "You remember the fate of our countrymen who were shot in Bagong Bayan. Should we return now to the towns, the Spaniards will only shoot us. Our organization has been discovered and we are all marked men. If we don't start this uprising, the Spaniards will get us anyway. What then do you say?" So sa kanyang sinabi, he emphasizes that the incident of shooting of Filipinos in Bagong Bayan, the injustice of the Spaniards, and also the Spaniards will soon discover about this organization and eventually capture all of them. So Bonifacio argued that if they will not move or initiate the revolution, since they are all marked men, and or some or few of them probably have a bounty on top of their head, why not why not die, or why not being captured doing something rather than being captured doing nothing? So these were the arguments of Andres Bonifacio. So he asked the Filipinos, what do you say? So the people shouted revolt. So this proves that the Filipinos were eager to have a total independence from the Spanish government. So Bonifacio then asked the people to give a pledge that they were to revolt. He told them that the sign of slavery of the Filipinos were the cedula, tax charged each citizen. So he asked, if it is true that you are ready to revolt, I want to see you destroy your cedulas. It will be a sign that all of us declared our severance from the Spaniards. So sa sinabi ni Bonifacio, gusto niya makita yung commitment and yung resolve of the Filipinos. Sa kung gusto nga ba talaga nilang sumama. Kasi baka iniiwasan dito ni Andres Bonifacio yung sa kalagitnaan na ng labanan, doon na magiging mahina yung mga Pilipino, or then some of them will become a traitor on the process of the revolution. So yun yung iniiwasan. So Andres Bonifacio wants proof of their commitment. So he wants to see all of them to tear up their cedulas, which will prove their defiance, their defiance on the allegiance to the Spanish government, and which all of them did so. So in addition, from eyewitness accounts, there is a disagreement among historical witnesses as to place and time of the occurrence of the crime. So mayroong mga pagkakaiba-iba ng mga historical witnesses sa kung saan at kailan naganap talaga yung tinatawag na El Grito or yung the cry. So with primary and secondary source, 4 places were identified, have been identified. So sa pagkakalap ng mga information from primary and secondary sources, 4 places have been identified na possible doon naganap talaga yung rebellion against the Spaniards. So these are the Balintawak, Kangkong, Pugadlawin, and also Bahay Toro. And the dates also vary. Merong nagsabi ito ay naganap sa 23 ng August, merong nagsabi 24, some said 25, and some said in the 26th of August 1896. On Valenzuela's account, kailangan natin maging cautious sa kanyang account, because Pio Valenzuela once told a Spanish government or Spanish investigator that the cry actually happened in Balintawak on Wednesday, 26th of August 1896. Then later on, he wrote on his memoir of the revolution that it actually happened on Pugadlawin on 23 of August 1896. However, these differences of dates and places were clarified by Guerrero. On Guerrero's account, he stated that Encarnacion and Villegas, all of these places are in Balintawak, then part of Caloocan, which is now Quezon City. As for the dates, it varied due to Bonifacio and his troops moving from one place to another to avoid being located and captured by the Spanish government. So this explains why there are several accounts of the when and where did actually the cry happen.